The New York Knicks ignited a dramatic response on May 29, 2025, at Madison Square Garden as they thwarted the Indiana Pacers' bid to close out the series, defeating them 111-94 in Game 5. This would not only mark the Knicks' first home victory in the series, but also forced a critical Game 6, narrowing the series gap even as the Pacers maintained a narrow lead. The evening was defined by a resolute combination of smart offensive execution and gritty defensive displays by the Knicks, who effectively exploited the Pacers' persistent issues with turnovers and rebounding. Notably, the Knicks established a significant advantage on the glass, out-rebounding the Pacers by 24, which generated extra possessions and set the stage for valuable second-chance points. Welcome to Gentotski Sports, your spot for all things sports. From legendary moments and big-time plays to inspiring stories and deep dives, we bring you the content that keeps the game alive. If you love sports as much as we do, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. At the start of the contest, the Knicks set a purposeful tone. In the opening quarter, they seized control early by converting their momentum into scoring surges. Star guard Jalen Brunson emerged as the catalyst, mixing penetrating drives with accurate jumpers to establish a slight but vital edge. Meanwhile, the Pacers, attempting to implement their trademark fast break style led by Tyrese Haliburton, found themselves frustrated by persistent, disciplined defensive pressure. As the clock wound down in the first period, the Knicks held a narrow advantage, a testament to their early composure and newfound determination on the home floor. As the second quarter unfolded, New York expanded its lead by harnessing a disciplined approach on both ends of the court. The Knicks' defensive adjustments began to stifle Indiana's transition plays, forcing the Pacers into more deliberate half-court actions and generating several uncharacteristic turnovers. The hostile home crowd further energized New York, and the effective ball movement among the team's key players allowed Karl-Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby to reinforce the inside presence. Towns, who contributed 26 points along with 12 rebounds and 3 assists, bolstered New York's computed advantage inside. By halftime, the methodical build-up had translated into a comfortable cushion, with the score reflecting New York's control as they began to dictate the rhythm of the game. In the third quarter, the narrative took on an urgent character as Indiana sought to reclaim its earlier dominance. The Pacers made valiant attempts to accelerate their pace. However, Haliburton, hampered by an aggravated hamstring that forced him out early in the third quarter, managed only 8 points on limited shooting, while Pascal Siakam endeavored to exploit mismatches in the paint. Despite these efforts, the Knicks countered every thrust with increased defensive rigor, their rotations tightening and their collective energy remaining unflagging. Although Indiana managed to slice away a few points in transition, the steadiness of New York's offensive sets, built around precise passes and collective scoring efforts, kept the opposition at bay. By the close of the period, the Knicks had further widened the margin, reflecting their control over both fast break opportunities and half-court possessions. The final quarter epitomized the intensity of the evening, as the Knicks resolved to maintain their advantage at all costs. Desperation flared among the Pacers, who attempted a late surge to turn the tide, but their efforts were systematically thwarted by an unyielding Knicks defense that absorbed pressure and forced additional mistakes. Even as Karl-Anthony Towns, whose robust performance helped solidify New York's inside presence, continued to dominate on the interior, his contributions ensured that the Knicks maintained their edge. Throughout the closing minutes, New York sustained a harmonious offensive attack, a carefully orchestrated blend of Brunson's leadership and consistent inside scoring, with every defensive stop serving to extend their domination. As the final buzzer neared, the Knicks' structured assault and relentless intensity ensured that the Pacers' comeback attempts fell insubstantial, cementing a pivotal 111-94 victory that compels the series to extend into a decisive Game 6. Alec Burks chipped in 18 timely points off the bench, while Isaiah Hartenstein's relentless hustle led to 17 rebounds, including 12 offensive boards. Key factors in the Knicks' second-chance dominance. Analyzing the proceedings reveals distinct profiles for both teams. The Pacers entered the game with several formidable strengths, notably their offensive ingenuity. Led by Tyrese Haliburton's masterful playmaking and Pascal Siakam's versatile scoring, Indiana demonstrated an ability to generate high-quality transition opportunities and create mismatches in the paint. Their fluid ball movement usually delivers multiple scoring threats. However, those same creative tendencies were hampered by erratic rebounding and inefficient ball security. The Pacers' inability to consistently secure the boards allowed the Knicks extra possessions and facilitated additional second-chance points, a persistent vulnerability that must be addressed. Moreover, despite their high-speed execution, Indiana's defensive rotations occasionally faltered under New York's aggressive perimeter play. Thus, while the Pacers' strength lies in their innovative offense and rapid transitions, their rebounding and defensive disorganization serve as critical areas for improvement as the series progresses. In contrast, the Knicks demonstrated considerable resilience and tactical discipline throughout the series, particularly evident in this hard-fought Game 5. Their primary strength resides in a structured approach to both offense and defense. By maintaining disciplined ball movement and strategically forcing turnovers, the Knicks disrupted Indiana's rhythm, converting defensive stops into scoring opportunities. The home court atmosphere further bolstered their determination. However, New York's reliance on key figures such as Jalen, Brunson, and Karl-Anthony Towns could pose a vulnerability if the Pacers adjust their defensive schemes effectively in Game 6. Diversifying their offensive contributions is essential to ensure that the scoring burden does not fall solely on their leading stars during crucial stretches. Looking ahead, the war room strategies for Game 6 demand nuanced adjustments from both sides. For the Pacers, the immediate strategic imperative is to recalibrate execution by reducing turnovers and bolstering rebounding efforts. The coaching staff must emphasize tighter boxing out drills and ensure that every player understands their role in controlling the glass to prevent extra possessions for the opposition. Haliburton, while continuing to showcase his creative playmaking, must adopt a more cautious approach to ball handling in order to minimize errors. Furthermore, Indiana must reestablish a disciplined defensive structure that can preempt New York's disruption tactics. This may involve rearranging rotations or assigning additional help on pick-and-roll situations. The goal is to leverage their dynamic offensive capabilities while addressing the vulnerabilities that have afforded the Knicks critical second-chance points. For the Knicks, the strategy for Game 6 revolves around sustaining their aggressive, high-pressure defense from tip-off while expanding their offensive horizons. New York's plan is to continue disrupting Haliburton's facilitation by applying relentless perimeter pressure, thereby forcing the Pacers into more predictable, isolated half-court sets. Maintaining sharp defensive rotations will be essential for containing Indiana's multiple scoring threats. Offensively, the Knicks must strive to distribute the scoring load more evenly. While Brunson and Towns have been pivotal, involving additional players in creating and capitalizing on scoring opportunities will reduce predictability and further rock the Pacers' defensive adjustments. Additionally, an intensified focus on early, aggressive rebounding, particularly on the defensive end, will help curtail Indiana's transition assaults, allowing the Knicks to dictate the tempo of possessions from the opening tip. In conclusion, Game 5 vividly showcased a tactical duel defined by grit, poise, and strategic precision. The Knicks' emphatic 111-94 victory on their home floor not only highlighted their ability to dominate the glass and enforce defensive discipline, but also kept their season alive, pushing the series to a pivotal Game 6. With Indiana aiming to shore up its rebounding and defensive structure, and New York looking to diversify its offense while sustaining its high-pressure defense, both teams now stand at a strategic crossroads. What follows promises to be a fierce, high-stakes battle for Eastern Conference supremacy. Thanks for watching Jintatsuki Sports. If that video hit home or gave you something to think about, drop a like and let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that bring the heart of sports to life. Until next time, stay inspired and keep chasing greatness.